going to start. So before we actually start with the official opening and everything of the award ceremony, we would like to show a video.
UNN le está apostando a que Medellín sea un epicentro global de ciencia, tecnología e innovación. Aquí hablamos de diferentes países y queremos que sepan que los países que nos visitaron
Thanks. So this was a video showing some impressions from the Datathon weekend. And before I continue, I would just like to introduce myself really quickly. So my name is Alexander Loschke. I work here in the UN Statistics Division in the Data Innovation and Capacity branch. So this video has shown some great images from the amazing days of action that we had in Medellin last month during November. So what looked impressive in the video can only be further emphasized by giving you some data about the event. So we had in total about 110 teams signed up for the Datathon, mostly from Colombia, but also from other Latin American cities and also from faraway places like, for instance, Indonesia. We had around 300 on-site participants at Ruta N in Medellin and also some fully online teams. And we had received at the end of the Datathon about 40 solutions, and some of them were really, really outstanding. I also, before I hand over then to the first speaker to give some opening remarks, I also want to underline that none of this would have been possible without the help of many, many partners that we had. So for instance, in Medellin, we had many, many mentors there. Overall, we had 30 mentors helping our participants during the Datathon. Most of them were in Medellin. We had for the judging process also the help of more than 40 data experts globally who were assessing the solutions. And we had the help of many governmental and private sector partners. I will not name them all. I just wanted to highlight especially the support by DANE, Rutaene, the city of Medellin, and our main technology partners, Esri and AWS. And now I would like to hand over to our three speakers for some remarks and the announcement of the top 3 in the youth and student team categories. And after that, we will have the presentation of the top 3 solutions overall from this year's UN Datathon. So let me hand over now to Ashwell Yannaker, Deputy Statistician General of South Africa and acting chair of the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science. Over to you, Ashwell.
Thank you, Alexander. I was going to say that, but you're sparing me a couple of minutes. Welcome to this award ceremony on the UN Datathon for 2024. We're meeting here in very strange times. Things are changing in the statistical world. We find ourselves in a time where statistical organizations when they think of statistical collection, we see it more in an ecosystem format. So we're looking more at ecosystems at the moment, more than just us ourselves collecting statistics. I mean, this is partly because data sources are changing. I mean, whereas 10 or 20 years ago, we didn't necessarily saw aerial photography or drones or our cell phones. I mean, we didn't see those as data sources, whereas these days are quite feasible data sources, and we can use that to report on official statistics. And in the UN committee, I mean, the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science, these are the issues that we're looking at. We're looking at all the alternative data sources that one can use, and that is to fill the gaps within the statistical community. Statistics communities are very under pressure at the moment for finances. So the interesting solutions that you're bringing to the party becomes very interesting for statistics organizations. And so I'm very happy on behalf of the Big Data and Data Science Experts Committee to welcome you and to say thank you for your contribution. And we also want to ask you to have a look at the UN Global Platform. I mean, when you put in your device UN Global Platform, it will take you to our website. And then you would be able to see the 8 task teams that's there, that's working on different elements, from mobile technology to privacy to data to capability development. And we want you to then join those task teams, because it's only when you join those task teams, then you could add your skills and expertise to the more than 100 experts from around the globe that's already working on big data and data science for official statistics. So for today, I want to say welcome to all and thank you for your contribution, and know that this is a growing community and there is absolute a need for the different solutions that you are looking at and that you are bringing to the party. Thank you very much. Let me hand over to the chairperson.
Thanks so much, Ashwell. And for these opening remarks, I will hand over directly to Ronald Janssen, who's the director of the Data Innovation and Capacity Branch at the UN Statistics Division. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, and good morning. This is still New York. Good morning to everyone. Good afternoon to some, good evening maybe to some as well. So thank you for tuning in to our award ceremony of the Datathon. I was very happy to have been at the Datathon itself. Most of it was done in person. Some people were participating remotely, but most of them were in person in Medellin at the Ruta N building. And I very much enjoyed the atmosphere, very much enjoyed all the energy that was taking place right there. A few words that I want to say is, first of all, thank you, Ashwell, for giving the opening remarks and placing this event in the broader framework of the work that the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics is doing. This is just a reminder to everyone that we are working in an official capacity under the United Nations. So we are bringing together the global statistical community. We are trying to establish international recommendations in many areas of work, and we also try to improve innovation and modernization of the delivery of services of statistical offices, and that's where the datathons are fitting in. We have done a few of the datathons. We started out in 2020 with a very specialized hackathon on the AIS, the automated identification system data that we have on the UN Global Platform, which Ashwell mentioned. Then we had in 2021 a much broader kind of hackathon with the UN Youth Group, and the UN Youth Group has still been working with us over the years. And of course, also because of the fact that this area of work is a lot of work with younger statisticians, with young data scientists, with young people in general who have innovative ideas in trying to use data for social good. In 2022, we did a big datathon in collaboration with one of our flagship events. That's the International Conference on Big Data and Data Science. This was in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. We had both local and remote participation there. And last year we were already in Latin America. We were in Uruguay, where we hosted the 2023 Datathon with quite a few participations around the world. So we had satellite locations. We had a main location in Montevideo, but we had several locations around the world. And this year the setup was a little different. So we wanted really in this Datathon 2024, which was a pre-event to the World Data Forum in Medellin, we wanted to have a Datathon where the solutions that we were looking for could very well be applied directly to the local situation in Medellin. And we sat together with the city of Medellin, with DANE, with Ruta N, which is the innovation arm of the city of Medellin, to find the application. So what area of work or what topics would be, what theme would be of interest for the citizens of Medellin to do something about. And then, so we, as you know, we came to the conclusion that sustainable tourism, so increasing tourism in Medellin, but with the purpose of improving quality of life for the citizens of Medellin as the main theme of the Datathon. And I think the applicability of the solutions is one of the main features of this Datathon, which I appreciate very much. I just want to give again the broader perspective, then I hand it back. So we have a data science leaders network. So we do work a lot on data science. I would like you to know that. I've put in the chat a few links. We've just done this morning a 3-hour webinar on the use of artificial intelligence and data science for economic statistics. Have a look at that. If those are areas of interest, you can, as Ashwell indicated, see if in the future you can also collaborate with us in those areas. Partnerships is something that is really important for the statistical officers. They would like to partner with private sector, with academia, and with civil society, especially in the area of innovation. So I conclude with thanking all those who have been working with us over the years, and specifically also at the 2024 UN Datathon. So I'll just repeat a few. I like to point out still the major group on children and youth, the UN Youth Group. Would like to keep them involved in the work that we do. In this region of Latin America, we also work with our colleagues from ECLAC or CEPAL. Of course, we've worked very closely with the colleagues from DANE. That has been a very fruitful collaboration. And we like to continue that together with the colleagues from the city of Medellin and Ruta N on maybe future projects. From the other partners, yes, we had very good support from AWS, from Esri, but also dataprovider.com, from the University of Twente or the ID Atlas project. So those colleagues were in person in Medellin and helped us a lot. And as Alex already pointed out, we like to really thank the mentors and the judges who helped us do this work. So with that, I'll go back to you, Alex.
Thanks so much, Ronald. So without any further ado, I would like to hand over now to Victor Andrés Arevalo Gabriel, who is the coordinator of SDG indicators and the 2030 agenda at the National Administrative Department of Statistics, or DANE, of Colombia. Over to you, Victor.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the invitation, dear colleagues, participants, mentors, and judges of the 2024 UN Datathon. For me, it's truly an honor to have been part of this initiative, this Datathon. It was a great experience where we had the opportunity of sharing with amazing teams of analysts and data scientists from all over Latin America. Their solutions were excellent examples of how public policies can be created based on data and evidence, and how the youth and the national and regional institutions can work together to bring feasible solutions to urgent problems that we are facing. The participating teams rose to the challenge posed, and from my side and on behalf of DANE, we can only thank them and congratulate them for such a tough competition. We hope to host more events of this kind, not only in Medellin, but also in other cities across the country, where we can delve into the Medellin Action Framework derived from the World Data Forum and into our strategies for ownership and education on the SDGs and the 2030 Agenda. On behalf on the Director Piedad Urdinola, it is for me an honor to reveal and present the top 3 youth and students teams winner for these categories in the Datathon. These 3 teams are identical for both categories. So the 3 teams are the following. For the 3rd place, is Data Avengers for the Universidad Cooperativa de Colombia. Data Avengers, the project of Data Avengers aims to recommend environmentally friendly and sustainable tourism routes to travel in the city of Medellin, offering some tourist routes and itineraries based on the different criteria such as the security, mobility, and other themes. So Data Avengers, congratulations for this 3rd place. The 2nd place is for Sisyphos for the Universidad de Antioquia. Their project Data Scope leverage machine learning for sustainable tourism solutions in Medellin, addressing gentrification, gender-based violence, and environmental impacts. Insight from humor detection and sentiment analysis can help city planners and local organizations create target interventions. So Sisyphos, congratulations for this 2nd place. And last but not least, the 1st place for these 2 categories for youth and student teams is from Turing Box for Universidad Nacional de Colombia. So Turing Box is one of the teams that are present their solution in the next part. So for these 3 teams, congratulations. It was a very, very good job and excellent example of how we can improve our policies based on data. So Alex, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thanks, Victor. Yeah, congratulations again to the top 3 youth and student teams, Data Avenger, Sisyphos, and Turing Box. And this actually leads us now to the presentation of the top 3 teams of this year. We will have this presentation in a random order. So I have rolled the dice and the result was the following. So we will have first the presentation of DANE Geoinformación de Colombia, then the presentation of INEGI Laboratorio de Ciencias de Datos of Mexico, and then the presentation of Turing Box from the Universidad Nacional de Colombia. So let's start first with our colleagues from DANE. If you please want to share your screen, the presentation of INEGI, if that is okay, and then we come back to DANE. Yes.
Let's go with Mexico first.
Yeah, let's go with Mexico first and then with Colombia. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. So we have very little time for this, but I'm going to try to tell you about what we did in this solution. Our team is comprised of Rodrigo, which he is specialized in geospatial analysis. Alejandra Figueroa, she is specialized in geospatial visualizations. Victor Silva, he specializes in big data and all the infrastructure processes that we have to use in the background. Luis, he specializes in data analysis, and which I do visualizations. So for this data-driven analysis, we try to focus on three key aspects: accessibility to services, safety, and environmental conservation. I'm going to gloss over this section. This is the part about accessibility. We use a methodology called isochrones, which means the same time in Greek. So we mapped the different services in the city, like tourism, transportation, education, and we measure the time it takes someone to walk from some part of the city to that specific service. This creates concentric rings in the map of the city. Is these kinds of rings? So the ones that are in purple represent the sections in the city, the points in the city that take 30 minutes or more to arrive to, in this case, transportation service. In blue, there are the points in the city that takes 20 minutes or less, and yellow, 10 minutes or less. So the takeaway that we can get from these maps is that the ones that have the outer ring are the parts of the city that are not specifically being left behind, but that need attention from the decision makers of the city, the people in charge of urban planning and uh, uh, placing services where they need to be placed. Need to go through this section very quickly. These isochrones are also calculated for leisure services, security services, and transportation services. The second key aspect of our analysis is safety, especially for tourists. We made an analysis and we discovered that there's an increase in crimes related to tourism, mainly theft around hotels and places where people can stay. We made a second analysis and we mapped the establishments related to science, technology, and research services. And we found out that in this map, the areas of the city that have the least of these establishments are the ones where crimes are more prevalent. There is a section in an area in the city where this analysis has to be carried on more in depth. But for example, in this south part of the city, there is a clear trend where we can see that there are a lot of these establishments related to research and technology, and the crime is lower there. We made this using Tableau Desktop Public Edition. So you can click on these images, and it will take you to see the interactive visualization. The third key aspect of our analysis is the environmental conservation. We use technique that we generally use in the data science lab, which is the geomedian. And for each pixel in the map, we calculate the median for different images taken throughout the year, so we can get rid of clouds and other imperfections in the images. We calculated the NDVI, which is the normalized vegetation index, and we can um, uh, see a clear trend in some sections in the city, in some parks, that there is a trend to in the green areas to be less green and getting smaller. So there's a clear tendency for the eco parks to become smaller and not as green as they used to be. We analyzed 81 eco parks. Some of them showed a positive trend. Some of them showed a negative trend. This can be summarized in these graphs, but it can be useful for the people in charge of taking decisions where to put the efforts in preserving these green areas. And that's it for us, and thank you.
Thanks so much, Amado, for this presentation of your solution. So I will now hand over again to our colleagues from Danoe Geoinformación for their presentation. Yeah, I see something coming up. Can you please put it in presentation mode? That would be great. Yeah, okay, you're good to go. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Diego Rodriguez, and today I'll be introducing you to the team behind project, geospatial analysis of the impact of tourism in Medellin. We are a team of three. Our team is composed of me, Diego Rodriguez, Jainer Mendiverso, and Josué Lopez, and the team is called Dane Geoinformación. The main objective of this solution is to conduct a geospatial analysis to measure using geographic information systems, GIS, and artificial intelligence tools, the social, demographic, and economic impact of tourism in the city of Medellin. Problem, there was three main challenge and one general challenge, social and economic and environmental and general challenge. The general challenge was how can we measure the impact of tourism in Medellin using the available data. Methodology. Let me guide you through the key steps of our approach. Step 1, define objectives and variables. Step 2, collect special and non-special data. Step 3, analyze the spatial distribution of tourism. Step 4, conduct geospatial analysis. Step 5, viewing the results in ArcGIS Online Story Map. Step 6, align with SDGs. And finally, step 7, draw conclusions. Data sources. The primary data sources used for this analysis were GeoMedellin, Dane Geoportal, official site of Dane, Colombia, and real estate offers to make web scraping. Data was collected through web scraping from platforms like metrocuadrado.com and fincarraiz.com. Tools use ArcGIS Online for interactive mapping, ArcGIS Pro for advanced geospatial analysis, QGIS for data management and analysis, and Python for scripting, including web scraping task. And AWS Lambda used to execute Python scripts in a serverless environment. The first result was the definition of the tourist influence zone. As shown in the flow chart, information sources such as mass transportation networks, hotels, tourist sites, and shopping centers were used. A spatial buffer operation was applied to these features, followed by a merge and dissolve process to define the tourist influence zone as illustrated on the map. The second result was socio-demographic characterization of the area of tourist influence. The analysis starts with the previously defined tourist influence zone, which is intersected with socio-demographic data layers at the Manzana level. From the current census, heat maps are generated from this process and visualized through a dashboard featuring location-based filters such as comunas and neighborhoods. The next result is intensity of the concentration of economic establishments in the area of influence. The analysis begins with the commercial establishments layer of Medellin provided by GeoMedellin to identify establishments within the tourist influence zone. This allows us to determine the intensity of commercial concentration in the area, as illustrated on the map. The deeper the red color, the higher the concentration of establishments in the area. Next result and last is concentration of real estate offers in the area of influence. This map shows the concentration of real estate offers by price per square meter in the city. The data was collected using web scraping techniques with Python and AWS Lambda from websites such as metrocuadrado.com and fincarraiz.com. After the data extraction, it was cleaned and the price per square meter was calculated. Finally, a geographic layer was created to generate the heat map visualization and the areas with the highest price in Medellin are El Poblado and Laureles, followed by the city center with a slightly lower price. Next slide is about relationship with SDGs. The proposed solution aligns with SDG 1, no poverty, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. And additionally, land value is linked to SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 10, reduction of inequalities. Viewing the results, in the next step, the detailed results were presented in the ArcGIS online story map, which allow us to integrate web maps and dashboards to present the proposed solution in a structured way. And finally, conclusions. Conclusions are the following: sustainable urban planning, environmental regulation, community participation, balancing economy and sustainability, ecological conservation and sustainable tourism with geospatial technologies, composed by proper management of ecological connectivity and environmental planning and education. Other conclusions are web scraping and geospatial analysis of real estate data, strategic interventions based on geospatial data, and finally, tourism's carrying capacity, monitoring with a geospatial approach as a recommendation to city administration. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Diego, and of course to the rest of the team of Dane Geoinformación. Thanks for this great presentation, and we will now hand over to the team Turing box.
I'm about to present. Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I can see it.
Now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Juan Mejia, and I'm a member of the Turing Box group. It's an honor to be here today, and I would like to discuss the wealth redistribution as a means to combat inequality. We are going to use Medellin as a prime example. Those of you who have visited will attest to its exceptional qualities. This have earned Medellin numerous accolades, solidifying its reputation as a unique destination. In 2022, Medellin received 1.4 million visitors, mainly seeking vacation and leisure experiences. They stayed for an average of 10 nights and often traveling with three people. Foreign visitors tend to favor areas like El Poblado and Laureles, which we will revisit later. In 2022, the international tourist expenditure reached the equivalent to $182 million, injecting the significant capital into the city's economy. Moreover, hotel occupancy rates in these areas have consistently increased over the years, reflecting to the growing number of commercial establishments across various industries in El Poblado, again, and Laureles, and surrounding neighborhoods. So, looking closer at tourist spending, we see it centered in these city zones. This begs to the questions, why are these so popular with tourists? A simple online search for things to do in Medellin or where to stay reveals a clear concentration in these areas. But what about the rest of the city? Data shows poverty rates soar in outlying communes, exacerbating inequality, and this raises to a crucial question. What if tourist expenditure currently concentrated in traditional areas were redistributed to these marginalized zones? This is why we see a change to share tourism benefits with Medellin's most vulnerable neighborhoods, encouraging visitors to explore new spots and investing in local economies. This initiative will have numerous benefits, including, for example, job creation, reduced multidimensional poverty, narrowing the inequality gap, revitalization of cultural and historical areas, and relief from tourist pressure in traditionally visited zones. And we already have a shining example of tourism transforming communities. Comuna 13, once a hotbed of organized crime in the 90s, has evolved into a thriving cultural center. The numbers tell the story. Over 1 million visitors flocking to this sector in 2022. So, how can we replicate this in the rest of the city? We must revisit our approach and comprehend the needs of our visitors. Creating a personalized tourist route can be time consuming, especially for first time visitors or those seeking for tailored experiences. So, we don't intend to assign blame, but rather address the root issue. As we have seen, online recommendations often prioritize established areas. So, this is why I conceive Go Vibes. Go Vibes is a tool for wealth redistribution that is based on understanding each tourist preference, identifying related points of interest, and prioritizing vulnerable communities. It provides personalized route recommendations and precise and eco-friendly transportation directions, detailed descriptions of proposed locations, so, for example, expense levels in those places. Go Vibes helps tourists to uncover Medellin hidden gems, saving time and money and supporting local community growth. So, how? With technology, data analysis, and AI, the system interacts with the visitor through a series of questions generated by technologies such as LLMs, and this ensures a unique and personalized experience once these questions are answered. A user profile is created, which includes their preference. Based on this preference, the system searching the database for the most relevant points of interest. Additionally, once these points are identified, an itinerary is created, tailored for different modes such as public transportations, biking routes, or walking paths. Finally, the user is presented with the three potential routes aligned with their interest. Such, we can see an example in the screen. The best part of all of this is that the model is scalable and can be applied in other cities in the world experiencing similar challenges with concentrated tourism. Help from cutting edge technologies and innovation, this approach promotes more sustainable tourism and helps to narrow the inequality gap in the city, improve the quality life of the residents, and at the same time, it creates a magical and inspiring experiences for the visitors. As I mentioned before, it's an honor to be here, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks so much also for this presentation by the team Turing Box. So we've seen now all the presentations, and we come now to the most exciting part, I guess, of this. But before we do, I also want to mention that all presentations of the top teams today will be shared on our UN Datathon 2024 website later today. Okay, so now we come to the announcement of the winning teams or the winning team, and we start with the third place overall in the UN Datathon 2024. So third place this year goes to Dane Geoinformación with Diego Fernando Rodriguez Lamus, Josue Lopez Gil, and Yana Mendibelso Ochoa. Congratulations for the third place this year.
Thank you, thank you.
And now we come to the announcement of the first place. And of course, after that, I will mention who got second place. So first place this year goes to INEGI Laboratorio de Ciencias de Datos with the team members Victor Silva Cuevas, Amado Esquer Martinez, Luis Ángel Pérez Mayorga, Alejandra Figueroa Martinez, and Renyard Rodrigo Suarez Ponce de Leon. Congratulations on the first place this year in the UN Datathon 2024.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you.
And
Thank you
of
very
course,
much.
I would like to mention the second place as well. So second place goes to the team Turing Box, which won also the best prize for, or the award for best youth and student team. And the team members there are Andres Alexis Galvez Herrera, Maria Camila Zapata Arrubla, Juan Esteban Mejia Espejo, and Juan Jose Zapata Garavit. Thanks also and congratulations also to the second place Turing Box. And now let me hand over to Ronald, so the director of the Data Innovation and Capacity branch of UNSD, and also to Jose Alejandro Gonzalez, the Secretary for Tourism of the city of Medellin, who will say a few more things. Over to you, Ronald, first.
Thank you, Alex. Congratulations to the team of INEGI. Congratulations to the team of Turing Box, and congratulations to the team of DANE. All very well done. As I said earlier, for us, what's really interesting from this datathon is like, how can we apply the solutions to the real situation in Medellin? So what we've proposed and decided as a prize for the teams will be to bring the 3 teams back to Medellin in the coming year to work on your solutions further. So we want to do this interactively with the city of Medellin, with Ruta N, and with our colleagues, hopefully also our colleagues from DANE, to have a collaborative project for 1 week that we can work together with our colleagues. We'll fly over our colleagues from Mexico to Medellin. We'll bring in the DANE team to Medellin, and we'll bring in Turing Box, and we're going to work together for 1 week and see how far your solutions can indeed be implemented. So that is the idea. That's your prize. We wanted to make it very concrete, something that might have a lasting effect both for you as a team, but also for the city of Medellin. So with that, congratulations, and we'll be in touch with you on the practical arrangements of getting you to Medellin, finding out a week that would be suitable for everyone, and hopefully get something that Medellin and especially also like the tourism authority of Medellin can work with. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ronald. And I would like to hand over now to the Secretary for Tourism of the city of Medellin, Jose Alejandro Gonzalez, for a few remarks.
Thanks, everybody. Good morning for the people here in America. Good afternoon for the rest of the world. And we're very happy to have you here. Just a few words in English, then I want to say just a few words in Spanish too. I want to thank the United Nations, the DANE and the Ruta N, which is part of our team here in Medellin, for making this event possible and involving the Secretary of Tourism here in Medellin. Your initiatives are essential to drive the development of the city and to consolidate Medellin as a benchmark in tourism. To the participants, muchachos, felicitaciones. It means in English, congratulations, guys. Your talent, creativity, and commitment to the innovation are the source of inspiration for all of us. The solutions you presented today have the potential to transform the way we understand and manage tourism in Medellin. As we know, Medellin was a very violent city, 3 decades away. And now we are acknowledged as a very creative city. So we're very proud of that. Guys, congratulations once again. Welcome to Medellin. We're very happy to have you here. And we are convinced that the data can be a powerful tool to improve the experience of our visitors, to protect our natural and cultural heritage, and to generate economic opportunities for our city. Muchachos, de verdad, felicitaciones. Estoy muy feliz con esas cosas que presentaron. Eso va a ser un gran avance para la ciudad. Eso de verdad, esta ciudad lo valora y nos demuestra una vez más que esta ciudad tiene mucho para crecer dentro de la innovación, dentro de la tecnología y dentro del turismo. De verdad, nosotros desde la Secretaría vamos a hacer todo el esfuerzo que esté en nuestras manos para que lo que ustedes están haciendo e hicieron en sus trabajos no se quede simplemente en una cosa que presentamos, en una cosa que ponen ahí, sino que sea un desarrollo que de verdad haga crecer el turismo. Y como lo he dicho siempre, no queremos que sea algo que se quede en Medellin. Nosotros queremos algo que impacte la región y, por qué no decirlo, que impacte el mundo. En Medellin no somos las personas de las que nos quedamos con el conocimiento y que todo es para nosotros y ya. No, todo ese conocimiento nosotros queremos que una vez lo implementemos con todo eso que ustedes hicieron, nosotros podamos decirle al mundo, esto lo hicimos de la mano de ONU, de la mano del DANE, de la mano del Ruta N, y el mundo entero lo tiene a disposición. Señores, muchas gracias. Alex, thank you very much. I'm sorry I said a lot of words in Spanish, but it's impossible not to do it.
No hay problema. Don't worry. Also, those remarks, of course, in Spanish are very much welcome. After all, it's a Spanish-speaking region. And yeah, with this, we conclude the awards ceremony of the UN Datathon 2024. Thanks again to all our partners, the technology partners, the logistical partners, the local hosts, of course, Ruta N, DANE, and also all our mentors and judges that helped in this process. It was really a pleasure to work with you all. We enjoyed it a lot to be in Medellin, and we hope to be visiting Colombia at some point again. And as I mentioned before, also all presentations and all award categories will be published on our UN Datathon 2024 website. And I see Ronald's hand is up, so let me hand over also for Ronald, to Ronald, sorry.
Yes, at the end, maybe we can open up the mics of everyone and give a real hand of applause.
That's a very good
the
idea.
The 3 winning teams instead of the virtual hand of applause. Can we do that?
Yeah, so I think for that.
Eso, muchachos, felicitaciones. Hágale, arranque. Felicitaciones para todos. Una nota.
Felicidades.
Felicidades a todos.
Congratulations, guys.
Felicitaciones a todos. Sí, yeah, see you again sometime, either in person or virtually. Thanks very much. And with this, we conclude the award ceremony. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Monica, hi.
Thank you. Congratulations. See you. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.